Good morning, students. This is Abhijit sir, and we are here to study about the topic force. This is from the third chapter of class 8 physics. So, first of all, we know about what the force. What is force? A push or a pull applied on an object is called force. So, in this figure, we have an object as a ball. So, maybe the push is applied on the ball or a pull is applied on the ball. So this causes the movement of the ball. That means the ball start to move. So the movement is caused by the factor called force. So this is the effect of force. That means force can causes the motion. So let's see some of the examples. Okay, see this. We have a car, and when a push is applied on the car start to move. Even whenever the push is applied, now a push is stop the car. Now see this. We have a spring, and this force applied, this push applied causes the change of the shape of the spring. So see, force when applied to different object changes the shape, size and motion of the object. So these are the effects of force. The change on shape, size and motion of the object is called the effects of force. Now the motion is changed, like maybe the speed is increases or the speed is decreases. So force causes the change in motion, that means increase or decrease in speed of the object. Maybe it's also can, that means the force can affect the motion like by changing the direction of motion. So these are the effects of force. You can write those as the effect of force. Now as force is a measurable quantity, that means we can measure the force. So for this we have units of force. So the SI unit of force is called Newton. The SI unit of force is Newton. It is represented by the capital N, by the letter capital N. Now we can define 1 Newton. What is 1 Newton? So it is the measure of force. It is the amount of force that needed to increase the speed or decrease the speed of an object of mass 1 kg by 1 meter per second in 1 second. So this is the definition of 1 Newton. So here we are considering about the force that affect the motion by increasing or decreasing the speed. So what is the rate of increase and decrease? It is also given here, that the 1 Newton is a force that increase or decrease the speed of an object that is of 1 kg, and the increase or decrease of speed is 1 meter per second in 1 second. Now the other unit of force is, see this one is CGS unit of force. It is called dyne, dyne, dyne. Now one more unit of force is kilogram force. Now we can define kilogram force as this is the measurement of force, or this is the amount of force that pulls an object of mass 1 kg toward the earth. So this is the quantity of force which the earth applied on an object of 1 kg mass. So 1 kgf is represented as is given as 9.8 Newton, and the approximation value is considered as 1 kgf is nearly equal to, it is approximate value, that is 10 Newton. So as 1 kgf is the force of pulling, that means the force applied by the earth to pull an object of mass 1 kg. See, 1 kg means 1000 gram. So if 10 Newton force is required here, so suppose that we are dividing this 1 kg by 10, so what we got? 100 gram. So that means this 10 Newton is, now we can take this 10 Newton as 1 Newton. So 1 Newton is the force that, see, 1 Newton is the force that pulls a mass of 100 gram toward the earth. Now as it is a kilogram force, so it is in SI. So in CGS we can write this one as gram force. Now go to the next topic, translatory motion. So what is translatory motion? Translatory motion is the movement of an object, the whole object, from one point to another point such that every point of the object is along a straight line and this motion is called translatory motion. So the example is given here, the movement of a coin of carom, and see the picture is given there. See, this represent a coin of a carom, and here we have 3 points. Okay, now suppose that this carom is moving from toward this, okay, from one point to another point. Now see, those 3 points are moving along a straight line. See, this one is the middle point moving along this, and this one is moving along this straight line. So all those straight line represent the motion of the point are also parallel to one another. So this type of motion is called translatory motion. So here the whole object moving along a straight line with all its point along the straight line, and all those straight line are parallel to one another, like those straight lines, those lines represent the motion of the point, 3 points, and those are parallel lines, parallel straight lines. Okay, now go to the next topic, that is turning effect. So here this object in translatory motion, we are considering about this coin which is free to move. Now if suppose we are considering that the coin is fixed by nail, this is the nail, and this coin is fixed because of this nail. This nail is inserted here at the point P, you can see. Now if such condition is there and the force is applied, then this force causes a turning effect. How? See how the force is applied like this, and the point A start to move like this along the curved track. Now this point B also move along the curved path. Okay, so the points A, B, Q and R all takes a curved track. Okay, that means those are start to rotate about the point P. So the point P is fixed. The point P is fixed every time, because whenever the force is applied, the point P remains fixed. So as because it remains fixed, so it is called pivot point. Okay, now the axis about which the coin rotates, which is passes through the point P, that means see, this line is an axis, and about this axis the coin rotates. So this axis is called the pivot, that is the rotational axis of rotation. Now for this we will see some of the example. So first of all we come to the next topic, that is moment of force. Now see, this moment of force is also called torque. So what is torque? So it is the tendency of turning of an object, that means the turning effect of force around a fixed point or about a fixed axis of rotation is called moment of force. It is the tendency of turning of a body by whenever a force is applied. Now see these two pictures. From those two pictures, those are the two coins of carom. Suppose we are considering those two as the coins of carom, which are fixed at the central point P. Okay, both the coins are. That means whenever force is applied, the whole coin do not move, but however the different points start to rotate about the point P. Okay, so now for the first figure, the force is applied like this. Now see, the coin will start to rotate like this, that means it turns like this and start to rotate about this point P, or the axis passes through the point P. Now you can easily understand that the direction of rotation is like the clock hand rotates. Okay, it is the same as the clock hand rotates. So this type of rotation is called clockwise rotation, and that's why this type of moment of force is called clockwise moment. Now see the second figure. Here we have the force applied here at this point, and this causes a rotation like this. That means the direction is now opposite to the previous direction. So this is exactly opposite to the movement of clock hand. So that's why this type of rotation is called anti-clockwise rotation, and this moment of force is called, this type of moment of force is called anti-clockwise moment. So we have two types of moment of force, clockwise moment and anti-clockwise moment. Now see the examples. A door rotate or turn about its hinges. Okay, that means you know that a door rotate whenever it is pushed and it open or closed, so it rotate about its hinges. So what are the factors? So to go, to proceed to these points, let us see some of the examples. Now see this. Here we are studying about the moment of force, which is also called torque. Okay, so see, we have the example, two pictures. This is a door and this is the side view of door, and this is the top view of door. Okay, top view matlab, what you seeing from the top point. See, to open this door, we've applied a force at this point. Okay, that means the direction of force is like this here at this point, and this causes the opening or closing of the door. Now the hinges are present here, so this is the pivot point, and here the pivoted axis is here, so this is the pivot axis. Okay, that means the door will rotate about this axis like this, maybe like this. That is the what we say, this is the clockwise rotation or clockwise movement. Or maybe suppose the door is closed like this. Okay, that means this is the anti-clockwise rotation or anti-clockwise movement. Now that means the door is rotate about this axis. So from the top view you can consider that this one is the pivot. Okay, this point is the pivot. Now see, the force is applied here, and here the pivot is, so the door will open or close. So what are the two factors on which this torque, this moment of force depend upon? That means the turning effect of the door, that means the closing or opening of the door depends upon. So it depends upon whatever the force applied here. That means whatever the quantity of force, whatever the measurement of force, what newton of force is applied here, uh, how many newtons of force applied here, this depends. That means on this point the turning effect depends. See, so the turning effect depends on the force acting on the lever arm, that means here. Now one more thing is there. Suppose that a force is applied but not here, the force is applied at this point. Okay, see this once again, force is applied here like this. Now the turning effect will be lesser as compared to the situation when force is applied here. So whenever we come closer to the pivot point and the force is applied near the pivot, then what happened, the turning effect will be less. Okay, so suppose that the force is applied here. Now see this once again, suppose now we apply a force here, so there will be no any turning effect, because the door will not rotate any more whenever the force is applied here. This is only because the distance from the distance of pivot point and the force applied, the line of action of force is 0. So there is no any distance in between the application of force and the pivot, so there is no any turning effect. So the second factor on which the turning effect depends upon, see, the perpendicular distance of the line of action from the pivot. Okay, so suppose that that we know that here this is the pivot. Okay, so if the force is applied here, so on this length, this distance, this is the perpendicular distance. Remember that this is the line of action of force, the force is applied here, and this is the perpendicular distance. So this is the distance on which the moment of force, that is the torque, depends upon. So those are the two factors, that is, one is the applied force here and this perpendicular distance here. So those two factors on which the torque, that is the moment of force, depends upon. Now come back to the notes once again. See, this is those two factors on which the turning effect depends upon. This is if you push with greater force, that is force is the effect is more. If you apply the push near the hinges, then the effect is less. That is what I said about. Okay, so if you go near the hinges and the force applied near the hinges, then there will be less effect, less turning effect. So the two factors on which the moment of force depend is the magnitude, that is what quantity of force is applied, greater or lesser force, and the perpendicular distance uh, of the line of action of force from the pivot, that is the distance of the hinge from the and the point where the force is applied. So see, this is the figure, and you can understand that the moment of force depend on F, that is the force applied here, and this is the distance. Okay, that is a perpendicular distance OP. So to measure the moment of force, we use this formula. That means as the force is depend, the moment, the torque, that is the effect, moment of force, that is the turning effect, depends on two factors. So the moment of force is the product, that is the measurement of moment of force is the product of magnitude of force and the perpendicular distance of the action line of force. That means perpendicular distance of action of line of force from the pivot axis, that is called moment arm. Okay, so this torque, that is the moment of force, is equal to F into D, that is moment of force. Now come to the unit of force, unit of moment of force. So the unit of moment of force is unit of force, see this one, force into distance, so unit of distance and unit of force, this is called Newton meter. So in SI it is called Newton meter, and in CGS it is Dian into centimeter. But remember one thing, that this Newton meter is not taken as joule. This joule is the SI unit of work done, but work done is a scalar quantity, but the moment of force, it has direction. Based on direction, we have two types of moment of force, one is anti-clockwise and other is clockwise moment of force. So that's why this Newton meter is the unit of moment of force, which is actually a vector quantity. Okay, so this is it. Thank you, class.